Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to draw a tooth fairy. To do this project you're going to need a piece of paper, something to write and draw with, and crayons for coloring. Let's get started. To draw a tooth fairy you're going to start with your paper the long way, and you're going to leave about a 3-finger space from the top of your paper. Come a little bit to the left, and again leave about 2-finger space over here, and you're going to make a nice medium-sized U shape. Come down to the bottom of the U shape, and you're going to go a little bit over to the left, and you're going to make a line that starts, comes down, and curves over to the side. You're going to make another line that comes down and curves as well, only this one is going to go more over to the side more than it's going to come down. So this one goes a little bit to the right, and then I swing it over. I'm going to connect those lines with a wavy, or you could do a zigzag line, it's really up to you. At the bottom of that wavy line, I'm going to make 2 short lines, and then I'm going to come up just a little bit and make 2 more short lines. On the ends of the lines, I'm going to draw ovals because these are going to be my tooth fairy's feet. And if you want to add a little bit of extra decoration, I do more ovals right at the end, so it kind of looks like she has little bows on her shoes. Next, I'm going to come up to that second curved line that I made, and this over here, this area over here is where I'm going to do the wings. So I start near the top of the line, and I'm going to make a rainbow shape that comes up though, and it's going to curve back in. So I come up and around, but don't keep that rainbow shape wide, bring it back in thin. I'm going to do another line right in front of it, so it comes right up next to it, and it stops short and curves into the first one. I'm going to make that shape again, only this time it's going to come out to the side a little bit. So I start right next to that line, and I come out and swing it back in. And I'm going to come right in between, make a thin line that comes out, and connect it to that bigger kind of sideways rainbow shape. Next, I'm going to do the tooth fairy's arms. So I'm going to start on that first swing around line that I made, and this time I'm going to make a line that swings up. And then right next to it, just a little below, I'm going to make another line that swings right up and stops in the same area. Inside the tooth fairy's body, I'm going to make a line that comes up, just like that. Almost looks like I'm making a V, only this one has a little bit of a curve to it. And again, I do a lot of those parallel lines, so it comes right next to it, curves up and stops. Now I'm going to connect this line with a short little rainbow line. And for hands, I'm just going to keep it simple, so I'm going to add some little circles to the ends of each. Now in this hand, I want to add the tooth fairy's wand. So at the end of the circle, I'm going to make 2 lines coming up. And I actually want to make a tooth wand. So to make a tooth, I leave about 2 finger spaces from the wand that I've started. And I'm going to make a short rainbow line, continue it down like a smile, and another short rainbow line. Then I come back to where I started and I bring the line in just a little bit. I do the same thing on the other side, bring the line in just a little bit. And this time I'm going to do somewhat of the opposite. I'm going to make a smile line and then continue into a rainbow line and go back to another smile line. Now if that tooth isn't perfect, that's okay. The most important thing is to have fun, but you can practice by doing it again and giving the tooth fairy a tooth to hold. So again, rainbow, smile, rainbow, bring the lines in, and smile, rainbow, smile. And I actually get a little bit of practice because I want to decorate my tooth fairy's dress with lots of little teeth. So if you want to practice that now, or even if you're just still working on the first ones that I put in her hand and on her wand, that's really up to you. But watching me add the little decoration is a great way to see how I made the teeth again. So now we've got some little teeth everywhere. And I'm actually just going to add a few little short lines around the tooth, so it looks like the wand has a little shine and shimmer to it. Now I'm going to come back to my tooth fairy's face. I'm going to add facial details, so I'm going to do a nice big smile with circles on the ends for cheeks. I'm going to do an upside down U or a rainbow shape for a nose. You can really do any kind of nose that you want. I'm going to make ovals or circles for eyes. I make smaller circles inside that I darken in, but I also want to leave a little bit of a white space, so I'm going to leave a little white before I darken in, so that my tooth fairy has a little shine in her eyes. I'm going to finish up with some last little details. I'm going to do a forward C and a backward C on the side of that first U that I made for ears. I'm going to add some hair. You can really add any type of hair that you want. I think the first one that I did, I made straight hair, so this time I'll just do some curly hair. You basically just do those smile shapes or that then curve around and end up being rainbow shapes. And again, you can do any type of hair you want. You want your tooth fairy to look like you, or how you want her to look. And I finish her off by adding a crown. So I start with a slanted line up, I slant down, slant up, slant down, slant up. So it almost looks like I made a W up top, and then I bring my line down to the head so that my tooth fairy is all finished. So here we have our tooth fairy. But now, let's color her in. Ready? We've colored in our picture, and you can see I even added a little label here that says I heart teeth or I love teeth. And you can see I did the hair different for this one. So again, you can do the hair any type of way you want and do any type of coloring you want. But now that we've colored in our picture, let's go over some trick words. Remember, trick words, sight words, or know by heart words are words that you can't necessarily sound out. You have to memorize them. So let's take a look at a few now. This word is my. Read it with me. My. Let's spell it. M-Y, and the word is my. This word is the. Read it with me. The. Let's spell it. T-H-E. The word is the. This word is see. Read it with me. See. Let's spell it. S-E-E. The word is see. This word is do. Read it with me. Do. Let's spell it. D-O. The word is do. This word is she. Read it with me. She. Let's spell it. S-H-E. And the word is she. This word is you. Read it with me. You. Let's spell it. Y-O-U. And the word is you. Our last word is has. Read it with me. Has. Let's spell it. H-A-S. And the word is has. Now that we've gone over all of our trick words, let's get ready to write. We're actually going to write 2 sentences today. Our sentences are going to be, do you see the tooth fairy? And our next sentence is going to be, she has my tooth. I'm going to get my paper so that I can write. Move my picture up just a little bit so we can see. And let's get ready to write. Again, our first sentence is, do you see the tooth fairy? I'm going to start at the top and the left. My first word is do. Do you remember how to spell the word do? I need an uppercase letter first, so I'm going to write an uppercase D and an O that's lowercase for the word do. Let's read what we have. Do you. Do you remember how to spell the word you? Add a finger space and write Y-O-U. You. Fingers ready to read. Do you see? Do you remember how to spell the word see? Add a finger space and write S-E-E-C. Fingers ready to read again. Do you see the? Do you remember how to spell the word the? Add a finger space and write T-H-E, the. Fingers ready to read. Do you see the tooth? Tooth is not a trick word. If you think you're ready to sound out the word tooth, you could tap it out. The sounds are t, oo, th, tooth. Or you can copy my label for the word tooth. Don't forget to add a finger space. I think we should be ready to read. Have your fingers ready. Do you see the tooth fairy? Fairy was another word that is not a trick word. We didn't practice it. If you're ready to sound it out, you can pause the video and take your time sounding out the word fairy. It has 2 syllables. Fairy. So you would tap out fair, air, and then the second syllable, E, which is just E. If you're not quite ready for sounding out the words yourself, you can copy my label. Now I'm running out of room, so I'm going to go back to the left, right underneath, and write the word fairy. Let's get our fingers ready to read. Do you see the tooth fairy? That's the end of my first sentence. And do you know what kind of punctuation I should be using? If you said a question mark, you're correct. We're asking a question. Do you see the tooth fairy? I see her right here. Let's get our fingers ready to read. Do you see the tooth fairy? Time to move on to our second sentence. She has my tooth. So I'm going to put a little bit of a finger space because I'm starting a new sentence. And with the new sentence, don't forget you're going to have to use another uppercase letter, just like I did for my first sentence. So our first word is she. Do you remember how to spell the word she? I need that uppercase S because again, this is a new sentence. Then a H that is lowercase and an E that is lowercase for the word she. We're just going to read that second sentence, so get your fingers ready. She has. Do you remember how to spell the word has? Add a finger space and write H-A-S, has. Fingers ready to read again. She has my. Do you remember how to spell the word my? Add a finger space and write M-Y, my. I'm going back to the beginning of the sentence. Get your finger ready to read. She has my tooth. I remember that we already wrote the word tooth here, whether you sounded it out or you copied the label. So I'm just going to write the word tooth again. So again, I'm running out of room. I go back to the left and right underneath. Let's get our fingers ready to read that sentence again. She has my tooth. We've come to the end of our sentence, so we need some type of punctuation. Many of you might be saying you can use a period, and you're absolutely correct. But you know what? I'm really excited to see the tooth fairy, or I would be if I saw her. So I want to use an exclamation mark. Exclamation marks are another type of punctuation that we use when we're excited. So I make a straight line down, leave a little space and add a dot. This is an exclamation mark. I finished that sentence so I can read it. She has my tooth. And since we're finished with all of our writing, let's get our fingers ready to go back and read everything that we wrote. All the way back to the top, fingers ready. Do you see the tooth fairy? She has my tooth. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you enjoyed drawing a picture of the Tooth Fairy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!